So President Trump tried to go after Joe Biden for getting tongue-tied over the weekend about his possible White House run. So the internet, of course, did not take kindly to this, and now what they're referring to actually in the story is that Biden, when he was talking to a group of Democrats, called himself the most progressive, or called himself the person with the most progressive record of anybody running for the Democratic nomination, before changing direction and saying anybody who would run for the 2020 nomination. So I guess he tripped on his words, and I also probably tripped on that sentence because he tripped on his words. Now, Trump, of course, has talked about running against Joe Biden. And by the way, going back to that for a second, you think you're have the most progressive record? Come on, laugh along with me, right? In reality, no, Joe Biden probably doesn't understand the word progressive, or doesn't understand that the party has actually gone back to the left from, because the Overton window is so far shifted to the right that the Democratic Party is actually getting pulled back to the left from people like Bernie Sanders. So anyway, now what's funny about him versus Joe Biden, Trump versus Biden, is that Trump actually is looking forward to going against Joe Biden. Well, that's never a good mark. Saying that he could beat Biden, but only after his aides had reportedly had to assure the president that he could possibly beat Biden. Anyway, his tweet was, Joe Biden got tongue-tied over the weekend when he was unable to properly deliver a very simple line about his decision to run for president. Get used to it, another low IQ individual. Wait, so now you're saying anybody who trips over their words sometimes is a low IQ individual? Well, if that's the case, uh-oh. I think you might have some problems. Because it really takes a lot of temerity to type that out. Knowing, of course, there is video out there of Trump saying nonsensical things and tripping over words. Let me give you an example. When he was talking about Puerto Rico and trying to get help to Puerto Rico, he said, quote, "This is an island surrounded by water. Big water. Ocean water." Really? Really? Very stable genius, right? And in fact, one of the defining traits of Donald Trump that he's proud of is his mental stability. So, anyway, now Twitter, of course, social media, I love it because, of course, they picked on him. Starting with Robert McGuire, who said, quote, "But he's right. Some people are really just one meat patty short of a hamburger." Awesome. Jeff Tiedrich says, "Guy who rambled incoherently for 2 hours at CPAC says what?" That's another good point. T-Pain says, "Tim Apple remains unavailable for comment." Oh, I love that. Oh, Scotland is part of the UK. But they weren't involved with Brexit, though. Were they? I don't know. Scotland is part of the UK. They just lost a vote to leave the UK. So, quick correction on that one. See? We're talking about smart people, and I just completely effed it up. So, thanks. I'll edit that out later. Anyway. Pour Me Coffee says, his name is Joe Delaware. Thorsten says who? The stable genius who doesn't want his grades made public. Chad Cantrell says, well, let's see here, Mr. Stable Genius. Tim Apple, Covfefe, Hamburger, Smocking Gun, Unprecedented, Diversary, Animus. That's fun. I would do more, but I only have 280 characters. Lastly, how about we compare your educational transcripts to Joe Biden's? Oh, wait, you won't release them. Sad. And Pam Gardner says, remember when you said it was a slip of the tongue when you threw our intelligence agencies under the bus and supported Putin? And finally, Bobby Hollingshead says, I wonder if he knows not to stare directly at the sun during a solar eclipse. Again, social media, fantastic. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/TYTNation, set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent progressive media.